She's not exactly what you expected. Granted, you don't have a lot of experience with tarot readers, but when you made an appointment with her, you expected an older woman, maybe wearing a turban, maybe in a paisley caftan, with a slightly vague, distracted air. Jasmine, when she arrives at your office, turns out to be a young woman in a conservative business suit. She introduces herself, she shakes hands, and then she gets herself set up at your desk. She indicates the seat next to her, then takes a deck of cards out from her briefcase and removes the silk scarf it's been wrapped in. She asks you to cut the deck and then lays 9 cards down in a grid pattern. Jasmine flips the cards over, one by one, explaining their meaning to you as she goes. Different cards can have very different meanings depending where they are placed in the arrangement and whether they're upside down or not. Finally, she gets to the last and central card. She tells you that this is the card that might give you some guidance on what you should do with your life. It isn't always the most important card, but she tells you that it's the one most of her clients are the most interested in. She flips the card to reveal this. Huh, she says. What? You ask. Oh, it's just interesting, she says, indicating the card. What? You ask again. Well, I've only seen this card a couple of times, she explains. I'm not familiar with that one. What does it mean? I have no idea. What do you mean you have no idea? Well, it's just that I've owned this particular deck of cards for 5 or 6 years, and I probably throw a reading with it maybe 8 or 9 times a day. Yes, and this card isn't part of the deck. It just appears sometimes. And you don't know what it means. Not a clue. That'll be $300, please. Shall I invoice you? But what am I supposed to do with this, you ask, gesturing to the card. Again, I have no idea, she replies. But you're the professional. Yep, that's true, she says, but on the other hand, it's your reading. Life is messy. It doesn't always come with easy answers. She gathers her cards up and tamps the deck into a neat pile. She looks at you and the look on your face. Then she lays the cards back out on the table in what looks like a Las Vegas-style dealer's fan. There's no artichoke. You pay Jasmine, and she leaves for her next appointment. The theme of the day is artichokes. So today we're going to use an Italian liqueur called Cynar that's made out of artichokes. And it's one of those bitter Italian liqueurs that little old men sit drinking from tiny little glasses at cafes on street corners. But this needs a little bit of a backbone. So we're going to start with 3/4 of an ounce of overproof rum. And, oh, that smells so good. You know, maybe the missus would agree. Anyway, so 3/4 of an ounce of overproof rum and 3/4 of an ounce of our special guest, Cynar. And rum has a basic sweetness in the background, and the Cynar has a pronounced bitterness. And that smells kind of like artichokes. I mean, it's not like that's something that you would recognize. You wouldn't walk down the street and say, I smell artichokes. Anyway, let's get that open. And this is 1/2 ounce of elderflower liqueur, St. Germain's, which has the distinction of having one of the fanciest bottles you're likely to run into. My child, the artist, asks me to save all the St. Germain bottles I run across. And we're going to use our new super juicer. And we're going to go with some lemon juice. We're going to go 3/4 of an ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. And interestingly enough, as it turns out, half a lemon works out to be just about 3/4 of an ounce. And so pour that in. And we're going to finish up with half an ounce. Come on. There we go. Half an ounce of orgeat, which is an almond syrup. I don't know. I don't think you could say it tastes like almonds, but it is in most tiki drinks. It's just got this fruity, sweet background. It makes everything like 15% nicer that you put it in. Okay, there we go. And we're going to seat the cocktail shaker. Shake, 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 shake. And as usual, my standard for how long to shake it is until I hear the ice cubes start to break up into like little ice shards. Okay, and let's break the suction on that. Okay. And I've gone the extra step of crushing some ice. Now, I do have one of those old 1970s hand-cranked ice crushers, but what I prefer to do is just wrap regular ice cubes in a tea towel and smack the heck out of them with my billy club-like muddler. And all we're going to do now is strain the Artichoke Hold into a glass of crushed ice. And if you want to be impressed here. Look how I got that exactly right. Just the right amount of ice, just the right amount of cocktail, and just a gorgeous color. I've got a hibiscus plant. He's my head house plant. His name is Ricardo Hibiscus. And that's the same color his blossoms are, with a deep purple inside. Now, this is a good tasting cocktail. Do not be misled by that look on my face.
It's good.
No, give me a second. The thing is, some cocktails, the tastes all blend together and, why, yes, that's a pina colada. Why, yes, it's a gin and tonic. This, you can taste every single ingredient separately. If you go looking for the lemon juice, you find it. If you go looking for some inner peace, hopefully you'll find that too.